This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Thursday, August the 9th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, the Crown's top prosecutor is yet to have the last word. But so far, the police chief has no plans to add to the legal troubles of former Cabinet Minister Donville Inniss, unless a complaint is made to the Royal Barbados Police Force. Although Inniss is accused by a U.S. federal grand jury of taking U.S. $36,000 in bribes from a Barbadian insurance company and laundering the cash through a friend's business in the United States, local police remain in the dark on investigations into the former government minister's alleged activities and can only act if a report is made to lawmen. That's according to Commissioner of Police Tyrone Griffith. He told Barbados Today no information was shared between the RBPF and U.S. federal law enforcement regarding allegations of bribery and money laundering. Meanwhile, some members of the Democratic Labour Party are calling for the party to postpone its annual conference scheduled for Sunday. According to one source familiar with the request, some members of the executive are pushing for a 2-week postponement, arguing that the Inniss issue will be a dark cloud overshadowing the entire affair. The source also noted that with Inniss, who was to contest the position of General Secretary, now out of the reckoning, the process of electing a new executive will be somewhat out of whack. In other news now, Bridgetown merchants are reporting brisk business for back-to-school shopping and promising lower prices now that a hated 10% sales tax has been abolished. 3 major sources of school apparel, stationery, and supplies told Barbados Today sales were starting to pick up after a sluggish July. With crop over out of the way, parents and students flocked to stores yesterday, 4 weeks before the first day of the new school year on September 10th. Woolworth Department Store on Prince Henry Street, the city, was a familiar scene of hardly any standing room for the annual ritual of shopping for stationery and supplies, now that the summer festival has passed. Managing Director Martin Bryan was upbeat.
But school picks up after crop over. So now that Kaduma is finished, we're going to see an upturn for sure. So yesterday was the first day after Kaduma. We saw brisk trade in the back school departments, school clothing, socks, school bags, lunch boxes, etc.
And Corporate Communications Officer for Cave Shepherd Department Store Mark Anthony is also reporting a pickup in sales post-crop over.
Crop over is pretty much finished. We are around Kaduma behind us. So we are seeing now a little more traffic in store for back to school.
The story was no different at Albed's on Swan Street, as reported by its store manager, Suzette Lane.
Things have really started to pick up. Normally that happens after crop over is finished. Our prices, we have dropped our prices based, yes, we have dropped our prices based on the NSRL. Right, we've come in line with that, so customers are enjoying that extra perk of, additional saving, and we normally have a 15% discount on our school items as well.
The local YMCA has been given a $100,000 boost. The money, which came in the form of a grant from the First Caribbean International Bank, will support the YMCA's after-school programs with scholarships for underserved young people, training opportunities for staff, and the overall enhancement in 6 YMCA chapters in the region. Chief Executive Officer of the First Caribbean, Gary Brown, said yesterday it was an important initiative which goes hand in hand with the objectives of the bank.
For us, this particular opportunity fits squarely within one of our 3 objectives. We have our principal objectives of health and wellness, community and environment, and also youth and education. And so the focus of youth and education fits very nicely within what we're doing here. And it also is good because it is across 6 countries within our footprint. So it's a very, very important initiative what the Y is doing. We're very, very pleased to be a part of it.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Traveling out of Guyana can be costly to get to certain destinations. One airline feels there isn't much that can be done presently to reduce the cost of air travel. Handel Duncan reports.
There are currently very few air carriers moving between North America and Guyana, and at certain times, airfares are astronomical. Currently, a round-trip economy class ticket to the U.S. and Caribbean Airlines can cost as much as $2,000, depending on time of travel during the present peak period. When compared to travel during off-peak periods, tickets cost way less, as much as $1,300 less. But apart from booking early to save, there isn't much travelers can do.
If we were given access to do so, there will have to be legislative work to be done during the Civil Aviation, the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority building, but there will have to be some amount of legwork because from a license perspective, we are not approved to originate flights from here to go to North America and from North America back here and terminate.
And on the international scene, forest fires are continuing to rage across Portugal and neighboring Spain. In Portugal, the Prime Minister has warned that the out-of-control blaze in his country will not be extinguished anytime soon. We pick up the story in this Euronews report.
Portugal's Prime Minister has warned that a massive fire burning out of control in the Algarve tourist region will take many days to put out, as the authorities battled near record temperatures. The flames have now spread closer to the coast and the municipalities of Silves and Port Maio. It's an operation that will still take several days. The fire will not be extinguished in the next few hours. The coming hours will be especially difficult because of temperature, wind velocity and relative humidity. The firefighting windows of opportunity are limited and focused on nighttime and dawn. Environmentalists are pointing the finger at eucalyptus trees, a native Australian species that's highly flammable.
You know, we've got to do something about the eucalyptus here. That's the problem. It's like living next door to a can of petrol. You don't want to do that, especially with the possibility of this heat wave turning into something that could be really... I mean, the good news is, thank God, we haven't had any loss of life as yet, but we'll see.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Now, you can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And just sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.